the Daily Scrum as we know it dead? And are we dancing on its grave? Alright, I know, you're probably rolling your eyes and thinking the world has many more important problems than the Daily Scrum. But have you seen the team's faces? They have to suffer it on a daily basis. By improving the stand-up, we might save thousands of developers from their daily misery. Besides, you know that's my all-time favorite topic. So today I'm gonna share with you some ideas of how other teams take the stand-up to the next level. So let the stand-up revolution commence. I'm Maria, and this is the Agile state of mind. Welcome. Over the years, through my work with the engineering teams and also on the Agile state of my channel, I'm on a mission to bring the spark back to the daily meetings. Why? Because if the daily sucks, we suffer daily. And I'm asking myself, does it really have to be a daily ordeal? In this era of post-pandemic remote work revolution, we've witnessed a seismic shift on how we operate. We might even be whispering about the post-Scrum era. Shh. So my argument here is that the Daily Scrum also needs to catch up. And it needs more than just a facelift. It needs a complete overhaul. Let's toss that daily label aside and let the teams chart their own course. They should be able to decide not only how to run it, but also how often to do it. So let's get back in time and think how it all started. Remember the days when we all were actually excited to start our day with the Daily Scrum. We would gather in the office, huddle in front of the board, shoulder to shoulder, and catch up about our days and weekends. It was the formal opening of a working day when all the team members met. And that's how it is defined in the Agile Manifesto. The most efficient and effective method of conveying information to and within a development team is a face-to-face conversation. The Scrum Guide 2020 says, it is held at the same time and place every working day of the sprint. So as you see, it is described as a face-to-face meeting. Those documents need to catch up to today's reality. So let's see how it's going. It seems that the trendsetter here was GitLab, and they created the Remote Manifesto already in 2015, and it reads, daily stand-up meetings are for bonding, blockers, and the future. Already back then, they said, don't talk about what you did yesterday. This is not a reporting moment where everyone tries to look busy. Rather, kickstart the day with some bonding, solve anything blocking, and share future plans so people can plan and act, and ultimately, save time. So they basically say that the daily stand-ups aren't your snooze-fest daily status updates. They're a chance to bond, tackle blockers, and gaze into the crystal ball of the future. Yet, they still advised on their dailiness though. Even the Scrum Guide in 2020, they ditched, finally, the 3 questions nightmare. They were already optional, but somehow people still keep using them. We're free, my friends, so toss the 3 questions, reinvent your stand-up. Embrace the walk the board. You can learn about it more in my video here, or the GitLab Groove, or do the daily wrap-ups that I will explain just a little bit farther. Why am I against the 3 questions? Well, have you been on such a daily recently? I have. Since the start of the pandemic, I have worked with over 50 teams. I dare say that I rarely see that they need this meeting on a daily basis. Especially if they insist on talking about what they did yesterday. Are your days as eventful as to talk every day about them? You wish. Sometimes you can almost see the smoke coming out of their ears when they try to recall what they did yesterday. Spoiler alert, they usually can't remember that. Some of them actually open their calendars and look, so they sprinkle some random, meaningful stuff, like all the meetings that they had yesterday. Everybody suffers, because you know what? We are not looking to find a remedy to insomnia on the Daily Scrum. We want to plan the day ahead and remove the blockers. So let's focus on the daily innovation. Remember, I've been a nomad in the corporate wilderness, wandering through 50 teams and counting. Behold of the creative ways some of those teams tackle the Daily Scrum, daily Kanban meeting, Standup, however you call it. 1. The I'm here to work, not to make friends. These teams don't appreciate the weekend stories or family sagas. They're the no-nonsense kind, who show up for work to tackle their tasks and then shut. And they also like to keep their mouths shut. Are they really teams, you would ask? Well, probably not. Rather a bunch of people working together, probably even on totally separated tasks that have nothing to do one with the other. There are a lot of themes like this. Should we insist on converting them into a highly collaborative bunch and invite them into a kumbaya circle? They deliver the results. The company is thrilled. As for the clients, that's another chapter, and it has been the way they worked for years. Everybody's content. Are we the disruptors or the facilitators here? So these teams, since they had not much to say or share, they had their stand-up 3 times a week. And the Friday one was more like a weekly check-in. They're cool with it, just not big on the chit-chat part. 2. Small team, big tasks. Then there's the data engineering team. Small but mighty, around 5 folks, all remote. And guess what? They're also not the daily meeting enthusiasts. And their tasks take at least 2 days to accomplish. What is there to talk about on a daily basis? Their way to do it? A stand-up 2 times per week, plus a sprinkle of refinement on a weekly basis. Suits them just fine. Up next is the team lead's daily ensemble. They try to mimic the development team's dailies and have their own daily leadership gathering, like a scrum of scrums of the team leads. One would think that the leaders would be more disciplined, and you won't hear there the typical, I had a meeting with my manager and then I had an interview with a developer. Oh, you will be surprised. They're even more prone to I had a meeting over a meeting syndrome. Then, when you listen to them closely, you notice, do you really have something to share on a daily basis? Because there's no daily earth-shattering updates. Plus, we will always have Slack. And the surprise plot twist is that the team leads infiltrated the daily scrums of their teams, turning it into a prep session for their daily reports. Out. And guess what? We did a retro on it and cut the daily leadership meetings from 5 to 2 times per week. Nobody blinked. 4. The cool async team. Then there is the unicorn, the asynchronous team. They are always the most proud of themselves. These efficiency champs despise meetings, full stop. They've got a Slack channel for daily updates, custom crafted like a good IPA. Some of those teams spill the beans in the AM, and others spin it right before clocking out. And that depends on the psychological safety. I really met some teams that refused to do the updates in the end of the day for fear of what would the management say. They will now know when you clock out, and they might not like it. Sad, but true. But let's get back to their updates. So what do they write there? They're not just throwing words around. They have a format. What's worth sharing, who needs feedback, and who do you need help from? If you want the full scoop, read the XMTP Labs article, Goodbye Stand-Ups, Hello Wrap-Ups, Rethinking Team Alignment for Asynchronous Remote Work. This is a great piece of read, and this article actually inspired the whole video and helped me in my crusade to bury the old traditional 3-question daily scrum and open ourselves to the new world of the next level, stand-up. Just to finish with the async team, some of those teams don't skip the face-to-face meetings altogether. They would just have them less frequently and focus more on unblocking each other and some important issues. And last but not least, 5. The A-team. This bunch are the chatty, daily bonding, walk the board aficionados. After the regular daily that they do by walking the board, you can watch it here. Please watch it. Stop doing the 3 questions. After doing walk the board, they go into the parking lot where are all the topics that have been mentioned, and they don't want to disrupt the daily to discuss them in the middle. But that's not a mandatory part, so folks can peace out if they want. For me, joining their daily meetings was always a blast. They liked each other, and that's why they kept it daily. And that's all for today. The hobbits die hard, and we are trained to report on the status every single day. And that's a tough habit to break. That's why the 3 questions are so hard to let go of. It's like we hit the autopilot mode and we forget that we are the pilots with the power to inspect and adapt. Adapt the practices to our own unique circumstances. So to me, the post-Scrum era, and I love saying it recently, is the team does what works for them era. Isn't that a beautiful era? No more copy-pasting of the frameworks. So in a nutshell, I'm not saying we should outlaw the daily meetings, but maybe it's time to pick their own frequency. The Scrum Guide says that the teams are self-managing and that they own this meeting. So shall we let them own it all the way? Which basically means to trust the teams, to figure it out themselves. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.